So I wanted to get on here real quick this morning and just kind of talk with you guys through my mindset, my mentality going into today's training session. And I think this is really important to speak on because you hear a lot of some of your favorite lifters. We all have like tough days, right, in the gym. And most of the time, most of us don't speak about it, or most of us may talk about it once every blue moon and not about all those other times. So we assume that the people that we look up to in the sport, or that we someday hope to meet, these idols that we create, we assume that they're juggernauts, right? But we're people, just like you. And this got me into thinking today. Obviously, it's bright out. There's more light in here. The doors are open. It is currently 8:19. Typically, I'm home at 7. I'm a whole hour late. So today started off kind of rocky for me. I woke up late. I woke up, but fell back to sleep. So that's where the kind of downward domino effect of this unhealthy mentality starts to come to play. And if I wasn't who I was today, meaning like I've done a lot of things over the last couple of years to understand who I was and who I am as a person and how I respond to situations. And as much as all of that seems very like competitive and healthy, there's a lot of unhealthy habits that start to steamroll when you start to just look at it from a wider lens. And what's interesting is I started to notice some certain trends that I had. With being as much of an achiever as I am, anything that doesn't go the way that I anticipate or want becomes a failure in my eyes. So I woke up late. I started today off with the mindset of I'm failing. And that is a tough pill to swallow the moment you open your eyes and realize you're failing already before you even got out of bed. And that's where it started for me. So I'm like, oh man, I'm an hour late. I'm already failing. My workout is already pushed back. And then it just starts to snowball after that. These are all these thinkings that I had. And it took me maybe 15 minutes to realize that I was okay, right? So by that I mean, my schedule's flexible. It never used to be, but my schedule's now flexible. With some help, I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm able to be a little bit more flexible with my schedule, and it's okay if I am a little bit later because I can adjust my schedule as needed. And I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm good. But all I could think about was I haven't posted my quote. I need to share this with the people. I haven't done this. I haven't warmed up. I haven't done this. I'm thinking about all the time that it's going to take me to warm up, then to get under the bar. Oh man, it's a squat day. I need to be tapped in. And me being already late, I'm already like tapped out. Like, let me get to the gym. Let me do this and that. My morning routine is off. Like, so it just goes and goes and goes and goes. And then I have to tell myself to calm down, because then I remembered the basic principles of what Royster Fitness, now Inspired Athletics, was founded on, right? The phrase that I coined was inspiring a stronger you. Now, that was left to the audience's interpretation of whatever that meant for them. For them, I was a super strong human being. I was doing some amazing, crazy things and feats of strength that people naturally assumed that it meant to be your strongest self, physically. I never, ever meant it to be that. And again, I left it for the audience's interpretation, and that's what it's there for. What it was for me specifically, what inspiring a stronger you means to me, is being able to overcome those mental battles and mental hurdles every single day. And that's something that I've done my entire life. I literally look back on my entire life and it's like, what is it that I've overcome? So whenever the phrase came out, I was talking to the first person who was working on my logo, and I just started throwing my life out there. And I just said it in a sentence, and I was like, "This is what it's about." And he said, "That's it. It's about inspiring a stronger you," and that's all you need to say, right? That's what it is. And through your actions, through your life, through your storytelling, all that of the meaning of it is really going to flourish. And it just changed it just changed everything for me. So now, this morning, I'm like, just don't forget why that is instilled in you. And I was like, you know what, you're right, Jamar. Like, right, having this conversation with myself just in the morning, like, this is all about overcoming these mental hurdles that we go through. And this is on a small scale, but their snowball effect could have been bad. And if I didn't know myself like I do now, then I would have considered today a failure. And it's not by any means a failure. It's just thrown off just a little bit by the smallest thing. I slept in a little bit. Okay, my body needed a little bit more rest. That's okay. Listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs. Yes, we're gonna push and push and push and push and push. And we're gonna like take our bodies to the next level and push it to its limits. Gotta give it some time to breathe. I'm more so proud of myself of being able to switch from an unhealthy state of mind to a healthy state of mind this morning, right? Lifting is easy. It's not about the lifting. It was never about lifting. Lifting's easy. Now, that's not to undermine some of you who go to the gym and think lifting is very hard. I don't think it's hard. It's the easiest thing to do because you choose to do it. It's challenging, yes, depending on what you do, but it's not a hard thing to do. You choose to do these things. It's those mental battles that you don't get to choose which day you're mentally strong. Like, some days are just tough, right? And some days you just gotta deal with that shit. Today was one of those days where I was dealing with something that I assume is small, but me saying that and taking something that affected my entire mood and saying, oh, this was just a small thing, I'll get over it, is unhealthy. I have to recognize it. I have to understand it. I have to get through it and be like, I'm gonna be okay because this is fine. And it took me a little bit of time, but once I got to the gym, I didn't rush. I didn't do all the things that I used to do. I didn't stop talking to people. Usually I would just kind of throw on my headphones and just ignore everyone. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I'm already late. I need to get this shit done. I don't have time. I need to work. And all those things are still prevalent. They're still there, but in a different manner. Like, that mentality is still there. That fucking humble mentality is still there. Like, whenever I get under the bar, that switch happens. But I'm just proud of being able to recognize slowly starting to slip into an unhealthy state of mind and letting that affect my entire day and the trajectory of the week. That's not fair to anyone. It's not even fair to myself. So being able to just sit here, marinate in that and understand that just was something I wanted to share with you guys. I'm totally fine. This is just me wanting you guys to know, like, I go through these things. This is why Inspiring a Stronger You is so meaningful to me. This is why I do what I do every single day. I create habits. Like, I do this shit. I believe in myself. But I'm human too, and I have these things that I have to overcome, these small things, these big things in life, these stepping stones. I have to overcome these just like the next person, and it's not always easy, and it's not always going to be easy. We do the best we can. Make sure you have a good group of people surrounding you that you can lean on in those times. Again, like, when I look back on it now, I think about it being something so simple as to waking up late, knowing that I'm fine, and it's sounding like this is a bigger deal than it is. It's the principle of it all, right? Knowing how my mindset works, knowing that I have an achiever-like mindset and everything else is failure, right? There's two extremes. It's either you're an achiever or you're a failure. With my mindset, if I'm not achieving, I'm failing. And that's not a good way to look at things. And I've come to realize that over the last 3-4 years, and that's definitely helped me in all aspects of life. Powerlifting, training, work, the world, the way I have conversations with people. And I'm just proud of myself for that, you know what I mean? And I hope that maybe this speaks out to someone who may be going through something similar or maybe on a different scale of things, but you're not alone. We all go through these things. Your favorite lifters go through these things. So let me just leave you with this. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. I'm kidding. But for real, just put one foot in front of the other. It is that simple. It's not easy, but it is that simple. And go from there. And also remember, everything's going to be okay. Today's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there on this beautiful Sunday. You are appreciated. Today I have a top triple at 738 to 755 for squats. When I assumed we was going into this new cycle, I assumed we would be taking off some of that heat on squats, but it looks like we just ramped it back up for those third weeks. And so yeah, we're gonna be pushing some numbers today. So I am prepared mentally for it. Physically, we'll see. My body has not been cooperating properly the last few weeks since that cycle of just hitting heavy squats consistently. My body hasn't really had time to just recover. So the last couple of weeks of squats have been pretty rough. They've looked clean. The stuff that I posted has looked really good, but what you don't see is what I'm feeling the entire time during those squats. However, I do have a massage appointment scheduled this Thursday, and hopefully, you know, things work out well for me there. But we also have Becca. She's competing this weekend at the Atlanta Primetime, or the Atlanta Open, but she's competing in the primetime session of that. So with that being said, this week's gonna look a little different for training. I'm probably gonna cram a lot of days in, and that might be a little painful, but you know, we'll get what we can from that, and we'll just take it a day at a time and see how that goes. Today is one of those days where, you know, I know this number could potentially fall, but it's just gonna depend on how my body's feeling. My quad IT band has not been acting properly on my right side. Things have just been kind of, you know, very tiring. Things have been tight. My squats have been moving well, but not feeling well. And that can sometimes affect you mentally if you're not prepared. I saw ahead of the sheet that this is what we were gonna do, so I was ramping up, preparing for this, making sure I kept the exertions leading up to this relatively low, regardless of how my body's feeling. Don't get me wrong, you need to understand how your body's feeling and listen to that. But I was just like, regardless of how I feel, I know I'm gonna get this shit done. I just do it. That's what I do. I get the shit done regardless of how I feel, because my goals don't care about my feelings. You have to stay committed to your decisions and stay flexible in your approach. I say that all the time, and you need to understand that. Now, if we work up to this top triple today, and for some reason, that weight's not moving the way I want it to, because my last warm-up will be 705 before I do my top triple. If it's not moving the way I want to, I will just cap it. I'm not afraid to just take what I've done for the day as that warm-up, because the exertion is still so high. I might just be talking just to be talking, but like that's just kind of how I feel. Kind of where my mindset has shifted from like, I need to do these things, I have to do these things, to like, I need to do what my body is capable of doing on the day. And being able to do that has definitely helped my progression a lot better than it ever has in the last couple of years, along with other things, of course. Hopefully I'll have some spotters. If not, then fuck it, we ball. So I want to talk a little bit about the squat. Yeah, so obviously I am dealing with some things. Nothing severe, just some minor stuff. I've been dealing with some IT band issues for the last few weeks. It's just gotten kind of bad over time. So that's been affecting all of my squats, to be honest. Whenever I hit the hole, it's just hard to push out of the hole just because I feel so much pain just shooting throughout my quad IT band, and it's just hard to push, but I can drive. I can push regardless. I can do it. It's just hard to do it. So I've been dealing with that, and today just started spazzing out on me. And at first I was gonna cap everything because that's something that I don't ever play with. I've never had my quad started to spaz like that. I've never had that happen while I was lifting. So I was like, this is something that I shouldn't be playing with. So I waited a while, and I was going to unrack everything and just call it there. But I waited a while. Everything felt good. I walked around. I was like, I'm not injured. It's not an injury. It's just something that I need to deal with. But I was like, well, I'll at least try to do my top set still. And if I get 1 rep, fine, that's 1 rep. If I get 2, that's good. If I get 3, great. But I know I can at least push a little bit more. So I ended up doing it, and I did struggle a little bit on the first rep, and then I struggled definitely on the second, and I knew there was no third in sight. So re-racked it, capped it there, took all the weight off and went straight to deadlifts. Did 490, 485, and then went straight to my top set right thereafter. We've been pushing so hard these last few blocks that my base is much higher. And I'm gonna paraphrase because I can't remember everything that was said specifically, but my body's been pushed a lot, right? And the base is much higher than it's ever been. Now my body has to adapt to those loads and get used to those loads, that frequency or that intensity. It has to get used to that intensity, and I'm just not quite there yet. I just got to continue to build into that, which is going to take some time, and that's fine. I have time. I do. I love the fact that I do. I have time. The decision that I made to go up to 750 was mine alone. I could have capped it there and been fine. Like I said, I'm not the one that gets upset or mad about being able to complete lifts anymore. It's more so showing up and being consistent with the numbers and just doing the best that I can on the day given. So I wasn't mad or upset, but I was definitely concerned with how everything was. But yeah, I have a massage appointment later this week. I will see how everything goes this week. They're going to have to switch around some days to work out. I don't even know if I'll be able to get in my secondary squat day, which will be fine because by the time I get back home, it'll be my primary squat day anyway. So I'm not going to try to push it back to back. Overall, today was still a good workout. I was just experiencing some discomfort throughout the entire training session, but, overall it was, we were able to still knock out 750 for a dub, not feeling our best. And 583 or 584 for a triple on a conventional deadlift. That's really it. That's all I got for you guys today. I don't really know. I don't really have much else to say other than that was today's training session. That's what it looked like. That's the good, the bad, the ugly, the truth, that my truth. And, that's just what I'm dealing with currently. That's what's going on. So you guys see it here. You guys saw it here first. It's not like I'm not able to work out. I'm just experiencing some pains right now, and that's okay. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. If you like this, as always, give it a like, share it, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.